Originally designed to replace 9x19, the FN 57x28 round is a staple in Tarkov for both the P90 and the 5.7. But this budget round actually can be quite confusing about choosing the right one, and there are plenty of choices here, so today we're going to be stacking them up against armor so you can make the right choice for you. So we won't be testing all the ammos here today, but we are going to be testing a good mix from 37X, 37F, L191, SB193, and SS190, as I feel like these are the best ones to test here today. We're not going to be testing 198LF and 197SR, as their penetration value is far too low to recommend. The standard methodology today from level 3 armor with a wide variety of level 4 and 5 and all the way up to level 6, and we're also going to be doing some visor and helmet testing here today, starting with level 3 and making our way all the way up to level 6, so make sure you stick around for that. So let's jump straight into a leg meta breakdown here with the two rounds that are worth testing, which is 37X, 37F with 81 and 98 damage respectively. We're starting off with 37F. So that was 6 shots to the legs for 37F, and how about 37X? So that was 7 shots for 37X, and that equates to 6 shots on 37F, the king here. With 900 RPM means 15 shots per second, which is less than a 0.5 second time to kill, which is insane. If you put 37F in a P90, it is a great leg meta weapon, and I would definitely recommend giving it a go. Starting off with armor testing here today, we're going to be jumping straight into a Tracer variant, or L191. With 33 pen, this is the lowest pen of the recommended rounds here for armor penetration, but 58 damage. This is a $2 per round. Let's have a look. So you can see it zip straight through Karasa, which was expected with 33 pen, but how about a trooper? So we got 5 with the trooper, and we went back and tested this a few times, and we could get up to 7 shots with the trooper here. But how about the rat rig? So you can see the lower max durability of the rat rig equates to 3 shots here. How about TV110? So that was the worst of the class 5 armor, and you can see that it's completely zeroed here. It was 0.1 for the Gazelle, but how about something with a better material type? You can see that we still got 9 there, but the killer armor actually still had a chance to block, whereas the Gazelle wouldn't have stopped another round. We just got lucky. So 13 for a slick. Let's have a look at the averages here. So across the board, anything under level 3 and up to level 3 is a 2-shot. Level 4, anywhere from 3 to 6 depending on material type. Obviously, the lower end rigs are 3. You're going to struggle really hard with level 5 and level 6 here, but however, with that 900 RPM, it doesn't super matter when it's coming out of something like a P90. So when choosing this round, I wouldn't recommend it in the 5.7, but it would be good enough out of a P90 with consecutive shots on target. Let's have a look at the SB193, a subsonic variant here, moving a little bit slower, but with 35 pen and 54 damage. So you can see there that though SB193 is actually not much better than L191. In terms of penetration, we only saw a little bit of a difference here in the level 4 range, with the averages of level 5 and 6 being pretty much the same. So that slightly better pen on 193 actually made it better in level 4, which we'll get into a little bit later with helmets and how that's actually important. But But across the board, these two are actually pretty much identical in performance. But let's have a quick look here at the king here, and this is SS190. This is a supersonic round coming with 37 pen and 49 damage. So we stopped 4 shots there on the rat rig, which is actually quite incredible for the ammo that we were using there. And the truth is that 37 pen is going to give us more reliability in the class 4.
I'm gonna fucking murder you, you dipshit!
So you can see time and time again, this is a level 4 test, and testing a lot of level 4 armor, we saw the same results. But when we come up against level 5, let's see that difference in pen. So we can see from the Gazelle there, 7 shots for Gazelle. Let's jump straight into Gen 4. So we tested a lot more level 5 here because I was really curious about that extra bit of pen on SS190. And across the board, doesn't matter what armor we tested and how many times we tested it, we saw a lot more consistency here. And so the truth is that 37 pen of SS190 really helps turn the tide when it comes to penetration chance across the board. Although when it comes up against a level 6, this is where it drops the ball. If you guys are enjoying this breakdown so far, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, guys. We're going to be working on a lot more content for this. Also doing that armor materials guide, which I haven't forgotten, by the way, is in the works. So you guys do not want to miss that. So make sure you're ready for that. Let's jump straight into the results here, though. And when we look across the board, we're going to see a little bit more consistency from 190. And across the board, the level 4 is where the biggest change comes in. And you've got to be noticing that not only is that really important when it comes to helmets, but it also a lot of common armor in the game is 4 and 5. And that extra bit of consistency means that 190 is your best bet. Although it's expensive, I would recommend putting this in a 5.7 and using other things like 193 and a P90. But let's do helmet and visor testing. This is where we'll really see the difference. So what I think is really interesting here, guys, and I've been testing helmets for quite some time, and you're probably looking at L191 here thinking it's not so great. But the truth is, helmets are incredibly random. Across the board, we had to make sure that these weren't ricocheting, and I also had to check with the people that were doing these to make sure they weren't bouncing. Because the truth is, any round can bounce off a helmet at any given time. It doesn't really matter, it sometimes just gets lucky on the angle and rolls a ricochet. So when testing helmets, we have to be wary about these things at all times. But the truth is, guys, when it comes down to it, a lot of people are wearing level 3 and 4 helmets quite commonly. And so when you're using a round like L191 and you're running it in something single fire, it may actually bite you in the butt. So the truth is, across the board, you probably want to be running something like SS190 when you're looking for those single taps. But something like the P90, like I said earlier, is 900 rounds per minute. So when you look at something like 193, it doesn't actually make a super huge difference. As long as you're getting enough rounds on the target while they're in the open, it shouldn't super matter. But when it comes down to something like the 5.7, your ammo choice is incredibly important. In fact, I would always consider running a 5.7 with SS190 unless you're feeling really confident about hitting them headshots. But when we look at the consistency here for 193, we're already starting to notice a little bit more consistency in the level 4. But once we switch up here to level 5 on the Alton that we're looking at right now, that's when it's going to start to drop the ball, just like L191 before it. So in this scenario, just hope that you don't run up against someone with an Alton or a slick plate carrier, or worst case scenario, both. And for the last ammo choice here, this is SS190 up against helmets. Let's have a quick look at what I mean about that reliability. you're going to see there that that was 2 shots for you, luck. And something like the Wendy here with higher max durability has a better chance at stopping more rounds. We actually got 1 bounce here, but it took 3 consecutive shots to bring down a Wendy. And the truth is, guys, a lot of the time when you're running these helmets, you're going to be running into people wearing them. And there are going to be a lot of people wearing level 4 helmets at this stage in the wipe. So this is something you really need to be considering. An SS190 across the board is going to give you more consistency for headshots, which is super, super important. And this is the biggest difference here. When we jump up against visors, we decided to skip level 3 as we knew it zoomed straight through. But let's have a quick look at SS190 up against the Alton here, the king of helmets in my opinion. And you're already noticing a significant upgrade there against the Alton. And when we look at the masker, it's exactly the same. Alright, so let's break it down here. You really get what you pay for when it comes to helmets. Across the board, 1 taps on all level 3, which is great for fast visors. Anything above that, you're going to be hoping that you brought SS190 unless you're getting a P90 and hitting consecutive headshot after headshot. Across the board, we're noticing a lot more consistency in SS190. However, there are many choices that you have to make when choosing the ammos, which we'll just quickly get into before the end of this video. The first one here, guys, is L191 is a tracer variant. And this is $2 per round. And if a tracer really affects you, then, you know, that's something that you have to decide whether you care about or not. But the truth is L191 is a great option in the P90 and also the 5.7. The next round here is SB193, which I'm going to show you something super quickly here. And you can see the impact hitting the bottom of the gate. And that's the fact that SB193 is a subsonic round. And when you compare it up against its competitor here, SS190, a supersonic round, you're going to notice the drop is pretty much minimal or non-existent here at about 100 meters away from the gate. So these are decisions that you have to make. Although SS190 is the most expensive round, it doesn't have drop. Do you think you're going to be running into long distance engagements? Then that's something that you have to choose. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be working on a lot more of these videos in the future. And as always, guys, we'll see you on the next one.